Hello and welcome to the Free Thinking Zone. I'm Lucas Delvo, and this is a place where thinking free is good. It's a good place for that. Because the main purpose of this is going to be the new podcast format. I hope it to be interactive. Some of you guys, so if you have any questions or topics you want me to talk about, leave them in the comments below. But this is a place where ideas are freely discussed. The good, the bad, the ugly. We're going to try to find the middle ground. Because by going to each side and coming back to the middle, it'll better our argument and better know what is right. Because the goal of this is really just to speak some truth. I don't know if I have all the truth, but I'm willing to say what I think. So that's a start. And I've been seeing a lot of people scared to say what they think because it isn't morally right. Fuck morally. Or I shouldn't say morally right. It isn't what is perceived by the people around them as the correct thing to say. And I don't like that. Because if you see something, but you just ignore it because you would be looked down upon if you didn't, are you just ignoring your own eyes? You're in a you can't fucking ignore your own eyes. Well, yeah, I don't know why I got off on a tangent there. But this is a place where there's no, pre-planned format. It's just we're talking about shit. And this is what I really enjoy. This is why I wanted to do this, is to just be able to talk about shit. And not having borderlines held to you. We're just open, we're going to say it as it is, or maybe as it's not, but we can say shit, talk shit, and hopefully we're right some of the time. We're going to be wrong some of the time, but I'm going to find my way to the truth at the end of the day. But today I have a few things that I want to touch on, but a few topics to openly discuss. So we'll see how this goes. But the first one is aliens. There's been a lot of talk about aliens lately. They just had some sort of big meeting with all the government heads in Washington about aliens, saying that they're real. But there's no, I don't hear people talking about that. If aliens were real, people have been saying this for thousands of years, but since they say it now, no one cares. I don't know. It's got me thinking, what the fuck? You mean, tell us now. And if aliens were here, what do you think they're doing? If I was them, I'd just be watching us. You bet that they're smarter than us. At the current time frame, you would. Actually, we're pretty fucking smart. We're too smart for our own good, in my opinion. I could bring the next thing. It's AI. You think aliens are AI? Honestly. You think they're just advanced forms? Well, it would depend what you define an alien as. Is that out of this world? Is that what you define an alien as? Something out of this world? And what if it's technology? Does it have to be blood? Or does it... What the... This is... Yeah. So aliens. I could see us turning into a form of alien, though. If Elon Musk does what he thinks does what he's trying to do, does what he's planning on doing and taking us to Mars. If humans are going there, then in 1,000 years, humans here, given Earth is still here, would be, the people on Mars would be an alien species. Would you not think that? Because I bet they'd have to adapt to situations in their species, or in their environment, to be able to do that. And that's what you would think. That's what the fuck is the definition of aliens? Give me 1 second, I'm gonna Google this. Definition of aliens. A foreigner, especially one who is not naturalized citizen of a country where they are living. That's the definition of an alien. A foreigner, especially one who is not a naturalized citizen of the country where they are living. Well, I guess there are aliens out there 100% then, because you seen our border lately? Biting. No, but that's not a fucking joke. Like, I guess there's a lot of aliens out there. But I'm talking about, like, right, maybe that's not the right word. It's the word we're known as. But out of this world shit. Like, you really think they came down in a little saucer and were scanning us? Nah, I think if they didn't want us to see them, we wouldn't see them. Unless they made a mistake. Because mistakes bring opportunities. That's weird. Alright, but the next thing, leave comments below if you have any thoughts on aliens. What the fuck I'm even talking about, but we're just figuring shit out, so let's do it. Next thing is AI. Is your phone the new God? The reason I'm saying it that way is because, like, I noticed, this is just speaking from my experience, like, I'm fucking Instagram addict. I'm on Instagram too much. And I try to put it down, and, like, I'll turn my phone off, put it across the room, and my brain will naturally, I'll go to grab it. It was just like instinct. You don't even think about it. You go to it. You want to have that thing. And that's the dopamine connection. It like makes you want the phone. But why? I know why. It's because it's comfortable. It's easy attention. When you don't know what to do, you go to that and it gives you something back. You can find something. You can go through a lot of time doing nothing in the real world. But what is the real world? Everything's moving online. But the real world is people face to face, human beings doing activities that keep you alive, such as food and water. You ever think about where food and water came from? Like, I know you have it all around you, but what is it? Like, could you get it if you didn't have your phone? You didn't have your car, you could get to a grocery store. What are you gonna do then? Like, I've been backpacking a few times and it's like, I could probably figure out some shit because, you know, I love being outdoors, I can hunt and fish, but it wouldn't be easy. I wouldn't be eating 3 meals a day or doing whatever everyone else is doing. In the real world, I keep calling it the real world, but the fucking civilization, when you're in nature, the only thing is food, shelter, and survival. It's like you're trying to live. And all the other shit doesn't matter because if you don't live, none of that shit matters. So it's just perspective on that. But I mean, my AI is the new God is people, because I believe God is something that you look up to for answers and he helps you give a guiding way to your life. But if AI is that, you can just ask AI. So they call it, the app is called Ask AI. What are we gonna do? How do you do this? You're the intelligent being. It takes responsibility off myself to give it to you. Am I making so much sense or am I making sense? Like, that shit makes fucking sense. But I don't think AI should be the new God because I think that's fucking dangerous. Because at the end of the day, someone is in charge of that. Or it's in charge of itself, and that's even worse. Because you have to humanize people. If you make people non-human, bad things happen. A good example of that, World War II. That was when Hitler made a certain species of, or he identified Jews as non-human. He called them cockroaches, things like that. He dehumanized them, so then the things they did to them, he could get away with. And that's fucking evil. I'm not saying they're doing that with AI, but I'm just pointing out the flaws in the argument, because that is human nature. Like, good or bad, it's the cycles. Like, you've seen it in history. It's the fucking way shit happens. But you gotta be aware of it so then you can prevent it from happening again. Either you learn from history, you're bound to repeat it. Fuck repeating it, because a lot of bad things happen to a lot of good people. On that note, AI is, like, it's necessary. Not that, because I fucking hate it. I got it on my phone, I'm not good at it yet. But I have it because we live in a competitive world, and if you don't use it, you're going to be left behind. And if you want to win, you have to get with the times, adapt, overcome, and keep moving. And that is the times. Because if you leave it behind, you're going to be a step behind every one of your competition. So you're going to need to adapt it. You don't have to be married to it, but you're going to need to adapt it and be able to use it. But you're also going to be able to take a step back and be in control of your human. Because we are humans. I don't want a fucking chip in my head. Sorry, Musk. But that ain't happening. Fuck you. Not fuck you, but fuck you, if you know what I'm saying. I'm not putting I don't like that chip in no head. I want my head in my head, because that gives me the ability to think on my own. And that's what this is about. All right. I got another topic for you. This is kind of rambling here. But, all right. Who owns the world? But you're thinking what I mean by that question. There's powerful people out there, powerful companies that have been around a long time and that have a lot of assets, have a lot of control, have a lot of influence in big organizations. There's a lot of them. A few are like BlackRock and Vanguard. I think there might be a few other companies, but they own 88%, it's 82% of Fortune 500 companies. They have a majority share in. So all the biggest companies in the world, in America, they have a majority share in. Or not all of them, 82%. So a lot of them. That's a lot of fucking power. Do you think they're just going to relinquish that? Well, they're not. That's a stupid question. But the real question is, what are their intentions? If someone gets that much fucking power, what are your intentions? Are you trying to help folks out? Are you actually trying to? Because one thing to say something is one thing to do. Again, bring it back to, do you believe your eyes? What do you see? Not what do you hear, what do you see? Because when I go in the world, I see a lot of friendly people. Because I'm an insurance broker, I knock on doors all day. I talk to black, white, Mexican, Asian, every color in between, and people treat me the same. I treat them the same, because we're all human beings. But when you look on your phone, you look on these social medias, you see division. Divide and conquer has worked for a long fucking time, and it works today. It truly does work today, but not if we don't allow it to. Because that's the best way for evil people to get away with shit, is by pinning me and you against each other. Because if we're fighting, we're groveling in the mud. They're up there just fucking doing whatever the fuck they're doing. Pull the veil back. No, fuck them. Because, that's why I fucking love this country. The shit we were founded on. We the people. For the people, by the people, and we're the fucking people. You, me, everyone else, Americans are the people. And that's what unifies us. Our Constitution unifies us. Because it's we the people. It's not we the government. It's supposed to be small federal government. Give the states a lot of power. So we're not centralized. Because once you're centralized, you're fucked. If everything's centralized, what's the working class man gonna do? Nothing. Because he can't. His choices are gone. It's get taken away. What the fuck is that? No. It's not the way it should be. But it's not the way it has to be. Because, yet again, we live in America. And it's not everything it claims to be at the current time. But it is a lot more than a lot of places. And this is the last place with opportunity to speak your mind. That's what this is. I'm probably wrong about a lot of stuff, but I'm probably right about some other things too. And this is a place where I can say what I want and not have to apologize. Because I won't apologize. It's fuck you, let's go. I'm going to talk some shit. I'm going to be wrong, and I'm going to be right. But we're going to work our way through shit. We're going to find answers and we're going to win. And that's what, who owns the world? I think a few select companies own the world. And it's not just I think, follow the money. Like you should, Patrick Bet-Davis, he has great videos on a few of these guys. George Soros, Larry Fink, he's the founder of BlackRock. Some people like that with massive capital who are investing their money, their privately owned money, private sector money, into a lot of federal and government things. And that should just bring up some questions. It's like, if we all know, because it's agreed upon, that you need money to live. Like, that's why I want money. Because you need money to have freedom. Without money, you have no freedom. Financial freedom is freedom. That's the last form of freedom. That's why you need money to get freedom. And that is financial. But everyone else knows that too. Like, I'm not the only fucking one in the world that knows that. People realize the power money gives you. If you have a lot of it and you can give it to others, they'll do what you say. Makes sense. That's human nature. Most people will just listen. Most people will just go with the flow. Cruise sailing. And that's the way it is. Money is powerful. But money's not power. It may seem that way, but it's not. It's not the end all be all. It's the individual. The individual has the power. Each and every individual has the power, because like the tank dude from, I think it was China, like Thinkin Bay, I don't know the thing exactly. He inspired the world. Like, he's one man walked up to one tank and stood in front of it and wouldn't budge. He's like, fuck you. No, absolutely not. And that brings me to my favorite thing, civil disobedience. It's the ability to say no without breaking any law. Well, you might be breaking some laws, but you're saying no without fighting. You're just like, I don't believe this is right. I'm not going to do it. And right is very subjective because everyone has their personal experience. But for me, that was the biggest thing. This started off everything. Was like COVID with the masks. It was, for the first few weeks, I was scared. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Everyone else was as well. But when I figured out it was not what people were claiming that it was, and once, the biggest thing for me is I'm healthy. And at that time, I'm 21 now, I was like 19, 20 then. I was healthy. I was working out once, if not twice a day, eating good. Why would I live my life in fear just to placate other people if I'm not scared of this thing? Like, I know you don't want to spread it to your neighbor. I get that. But I'm not going to, no. That's not their decision to make. It's what you're willing to live with. I was willing to live with that risk. And I got called an asshole for it. I got looked at in all the wrong ways so many times. And it ruined some sport. Like, I'll tell this one story. So I was going to a Wild game, and this is when, it was the vaccine, and it wasn't the vax yet. It was the vax in some places, but in Minneapolis, it was mask mandate for the hockey game. And I told my mom, I was like, I'm not fucking doing this. Like, I was legit at war in my head going into that ring because I was the only one without it. And I walked through security without it. I walked through everything without it. Walked straight up to my seat. No one said a fucking thing. The dude in the security line, he looked at me and just nodded his head, and I kept on going. But the thing was, I still didn't enjoy the game. Well, this is my fault. Obviously, it was my decision. It was a conscious choice. But I didn't enjoy the game at all. Because I was at war in my head. I was like, because everyone around me is telling me I'm wrong. Everything around me is telling me I'm a bad human. It's like, I know I'm not a bad human. I know what I'm doing is good, or is good to me. because it's allowing me to be me as an individual and not as a group. I'm not placating to perform with everyone else. I'm saying, this is what I'm going to do, and then doing it. And there's a lot of power in that. That's the shit I like talking about. Because there's power with the people, and power people, fucking voice cracking like a motherfucker. But we the people have the power. And that's where it should always be. That's where it always has been. And that's where it will stay. Because together, there's nothing that can stop us. But I think that's the first episode of the Free Thinking Zone. I'm going to try to do it. I'm going to try to live stream this if I can. Maybe get some comments in there as well. But if you have any comments, if you liked what you listened to, saw, heard, I don't know how the fuck you're going to hear this. I'm going to try to see if I can get this on Spotify. But leave a like below. Comment, questions, ideas, topics you want me to talk about. And let's fucking go. Like, let's explore some shit. Let's pave the path. Let's open the conversation. Because that's all this is about. We're trying to get better. Like, it doesn't just have to be about whatever. About business, being about a young man, being about anything. But this is just a place to get better. Like, we're going to try to go through ideas to get better. Because isn't that what everything is fucking about? If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. So we're getting better. So I'll talk to you guys later. Remember, we're leaders, hustlers, winners, and grinders. Let's fucking get it.